All right. I welcome you all to today's workshop. It's amazing to have you all here with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm sorry for the glitches we had coming in. This is my first time. Oh, somebody's downloading Zoom. Okay. This is my first time running these as a workshop, paid workshop for that matter. So I want to welcome you to the inaugural version of this workshop. This is a workshop that I've run internationally. I've run it in the US here and in Nigeria as well. And given that I experienced a life-changing, I had a life-changing experience with this knowledge, and my life has not remained the same again. I'm like, and that is one of the things that is with me. Whatever I see that works with me, I share it with as many as possible. Okay, and recently I've learned, monetizing your gifts, monetizing your message and everything. So hence, and then one thing that I found is when you monetize your message, when you monetize your service, you position yourself as an authority in that field. So hence, I'm launching this as a workshop, and I look forward, that it will continue to grow. And the growth that I look for is not just that it will continue to, have bigger attendees, but rather that everyone that goes through this will have lasting testimonials, lasting testimony that this actually was a pivotal point for them and that they had a change of life. All right. So before we go, I want us to be interactive here. In the chat, tell me, where are you logging in from? Where are you, getting on this workshop from? I want to hear from you. Where are you logging in from? From Houston? Thank you, Ayodeji from Houston. Awesome, awesome. But we still in, no problem, no problem. All right, let me know, where are you calling in from? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I see Houston, I see Lagos, Nigeria, Lola, Lagos, Nigeria, Julia, Lagos, Nigeria, excellent. BC from Houston, Texas. Awesome, I have my Texan represented. I know I have more Texans in here, okay. Let me see all the Texans. Let's go. All right, all right, all right, all right. Another Lagos, Nigeria, Lola, woman of honor here. Omolara, yes, thank you, thank you. Any other? I know I have more. Maybe you guys are busy with your hands. As much as possible, if you could, because this is a practical class workshop, right? So if you could try and, quicken up what you need to do and get yourself, in a place where you can concentrate and participate. But if you cannot, it's good, be here still. I have this recorded. I'll send it to you so you can, on your own times, go through the exercise again, go through the video again, the lesson again, and everything. And I'm sure you'll have, your testimonies from it, at the end of the day. All right. So very good, very good. From San Antonio, my San Antonio folks in the house. Excellent, excellent. All right. So we're going to go into it because we have a lot of grounds to cover in the 2 hours that we're going to be here together. So no time to waste at all. So let me get my computer in a very high performance level so I don't have anything distracting us today. So let me get my presentation on here and then share my screen. Okay, it's loading for me. All right, so I'm going to share a little bit about myself before we proceed, and then we'll go into the presentation fully. All right, okay, and then there we go. Bear with me, getting things in place. All righty. So here, okay. Let me make sure I'm not echoing. Okay. Is the audio okay on your end for me? Can you please let me know? Is the audio okay? Hope you're not getting any feedback.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, that's what okay, there we go. All right. Audio okay? All right. Excellent. Thank you for confirming that, Sajida. All right, so we're going to go into the presentation fully today. But before then, I want to ask you a question. And then that question, I want you to kind of hold on to it, because throughout this workshop, we're going to come back to it. Now, there's a book I'm going to recommend as well as we continue in this, in the journey of this discovery, because you discover those values today, but that is not where the journey ends. The goal is that you go on and continue to live your life according to those values. And there's a book I'm going to recommend, The Values Factor: The Secret of Creating an Inspired and Fulfilling Life. Is written by Dr. John DeMartini. If you can get that book, please go ahead and do that. In that book, he raised the question, which I'm going to raise to you this afternoon. He says, what is the most important step you can take today to achieve the inspired and fulfilling life you dreamed of? It's going to be a very interactive session for us today. So I need you to, I want you to, talk to me. I talk to you, we interact here. So what do you think before this class today? What is that very step, the most important step you've thought, okay, this is the step that I need to take so as to attain my goal? Because we are heading into the last quarter of the year, right? And you definitely want to fulfill that goal. So what is that most important step that you have set as of this moment, that you have set, that if I can do this, I will achieve my goal? Can anybody put in the chat? I want you to put in the chat for me. What is that step that you feel, this is the very step I need to take to achieve my goal? You can put it in the chat for me. I'm going to wait because we need this interaction. We need this interaction. I want it to soak in. So I want you to participate fully, be fully present. Okay, I'm waiting. What is that step that you feel you need to take to be able to get, I see a hand raised. Okay, let me see. All right, go ahead. Tola, you want to talk? Oh my goodness. All right. Tola, are you talking? Are you saying something? Tola, I see you raised your hand. All right. Oh, it seems you are talking, but your audio is not coming through good. The audio is not good. All right, I'm going to lower your hand and mute you. Let me know if you still need to talk. Okay. Let me know if you still want to talk, okay? So you can, to stop procrastinating, Imola says, very good, very good. To stop procrastinating, okay? Thank you for contributing that. Who else wants to chime in? To know and educate myself concerning the goal. That's what Ayodeji is saying. Okay, thank you. Any more? Let me see what's going on here. Okay. All right. Any more? I want one more. Okay. Focus on your dreams and ambition. Okay. So I have one of us say that they will want to focus on their dreams and ambition, and that is what will get them to fulfilling that goal. Another is saying, another person is saying they want to know and educate themselves concerning the goal. Okay. And then Imole mentioned that they want to stop procrastinating. All right. Thank you for those that contributed. You know, as I was saying, I would love for your participation. Please, it's going to make it more fulfilling, more fun. And definitely when you participate, you learn more. So that's one thing that I've noticed as well. All right. So like you all have mentioned, some of you have mentioned that those are the things you think you need to be able to get to your goal. You know, from his writing, Dr. John DeMartini says some people say they want to start saving money, right, to be able to get to their goal. Some people are even saying that they, you know, they want to improve their marriage, they want to find a life partner, they want to land a big promotion and things like that. And once those are done, then they are fulfilling their purpose, right? And he wrote, any of those actions help you create a more well-rounded life, perhaps even a more meaningful one. But none of them alone will be the key to fulfilling your destiny. And he went further and says, why? Because until you understand specifically what you truly value most, what truly inspires you, who you truly are, and what your true purpose is, a completely inspired, fulfilling life will elude you. So if you do not know what inspires you, you do not know who you are as a person, then to fulfill that life will not be possible. He says, what if you are living according to your life? Or let me back it up a little. He said, you're likely to attempt to live the life that someone else wants you to live. Most of us, we grew up with parents that want us to study a particular course of study. We've grown up with that mentality, and now we are living for other people. We are doing things, we are adopting other people's ideas and things like that to be able to live our lives. But we understand that all of those things are not truly what makes us fulfilled in life. And then it went further. This is a very interesting part. It says, what if you are living according to your own highest values, but you're not completely aware of those values? In other words, some of us here, you might believe in your value. You might even be expressing them, but you're not consciously doing it. So if that is the case, you're not able to experience the full rewards of your daily efforts. Our highest values are the key to help us define and meet our goals. Okay, so that will be the bedrock of our, the workshop today. And I want you to bear that in mind. To fulfill your purpose, we need to understand what motivates us, who we truly are, and why we do what we do. And congratulations, you are here today to discover that. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now to begin the presentation. And let me see if I can do some. This is not giving me what I want, the way I want it. So I'm just going to do it the crude way. So forgive me. I'm going to share my screen the crude way. All right. So if you can see my screen, can you say hi? Oh, yes. so I know you can see what I have shared. Can you see my screen, please? Yes, excellent. Thank you, BC. All right. So welcome to the Core Values Discovery Workshop. And a little bit about me. My name is Omonwumi Olajide, and with my family, we live in Florida, here, Jacksonville, Florida. We recently actually moved from Texas, from San Antonio, Texas. You can see my San Antonio folks are there in the chat as well. So hello, San Antonians. So we moved from San Antonio to Jacksonville, Florida, and we've been loving it. I usually tell people we are Floridans. I had both of my kids here in Florida, and I had my citizenship here, naturalization ceremony here as well. So Florida is my home away from home. I'm originally from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and I've been in the US since 2005. And I thank God for the opportunity to be here changing lives. My husband and I, we've been married for 15 years and going. This year we celebrated our 15th year anniversary, wedding anniversary. And that is him there, Dr. Ayo Olajide. And for me as well, by the grace of God, I'm the founder of Prosperity for Posterity Academy, LLC, here in the US, and P4P Academy Limited in Nigeria. So that academy, we have the goal of the academy is to raise people that will be financially independent, that they will be able to lead a life that will be financially free and be able to leave a legacy of wealth and prosperity for their children. But it's not just about money, it's about values and all of the things that God will have us pass on to the next generation. So it has a legacy at its core. All right. And then I recently launched my podcast, the Prosperity for Posterity podcast. I have two of it running right now, one for the main podcast and then another, which is the devotional. So you're going to see both of them if you check Spotify or any of your channels where you get your podcast. And these are my lovely children, Oluwabusayo, Tehila, and David, Olariwaju David. She is 13, a new teenager, and my son is 11, and they've been wonderful, wonderful children. You know, when you tell your friends or colleagues at work that you have, kids of that age, they were like, oh, enjoy them while they last right now, that by the time they turn teens, they will be rowdy, they will be this, they'll be that. And I'll tell them, no, my kids are wonderful, they're lovely, they are best of friends and things. And that has been, their reality for real, for real. So, and that's one of the things that I say to people, your words matter. The episode 4 of my podcast talks about how to build the next generation using your words. Our words are powerful. All right, so that's a little bit about me. If you want to know more, you can ask me in the chat there. But for right now, I think this will do for this class. So because we are here, to work, so let's get to work. All right, so in this picture, I want you to look at this picture. Take a look at this picture and then tell me what you see in the chat. Take a look at this picture and tell me what you see. I want you to type in the chat for me. What do you see? We can take it from the left or from the right, whichever way you want to take it. What are the things you see? All right, are we still here with me? A cave, I believe you wanted to say cave, It's a cave, right? So in the cave, what's going on? What do you think is going on in this cave? I don't know if you're familiar with this picture. It's a Plato allegory about the myth of the cave. It's usually called the myth of the cave. And that's what we're going to use it this evening, to look at a few things about our values. So what else do you see? All right, people hiding. Okay, okay. Thank you, Ayo. Now, if you look, I want you to go with me from your left to right. You will see people, like Ayo said, people hiding. Those are actually prisoners. Prisoners that were bound, their hands were bound, their legs are bound, even their neck is in a way a man standing on top of the cave. Thank you, BC. Right? Even their neck, we're going to get to the man in a little bit. Even their neck was put in a position, their head was put in a position where they cannot turn left or right. So all they could see in that position is the wall in front of them. So they could only see the wall in front of them. Guys, can you please give me a few seconds? Done. Okay, sorry about that. All right, go back. All right, so here we can see, let me make sure we're still recording. Yes, we are. So we see here, these guys, they're seated, of course, bound, and the only thing they could see is the wall in front of them. And on that wall, you can see that, like on the other side of the prisoners, you can see some people holding some poles and some object on the pole, and they're raising it up. And the light in front of those images are casting shadows in front of the wall that the prisoners are facing. Okay. And then if you go a little bit to the right, you see some prisoners, you know, or some people escaping. I would say they're prisoners, right? They are escaping from the hole, you know, one of them already out there and possibly calling other people to come out of the cave. Now, this is what is going on. These prisoners are here. They've been here since birth. In other words, they don't know any other thing other than the images they see on the wall. So what is going on is every day they parade, these images are paraded in front of them. And, you know, they begin to, at some point they started, you know, some game, like what image will come first, what will come next, and things like that. They are giving those images their own interpretations. Now, those holding up those images are casting, they're showing them what they want them to think is reality. So I want us, of course, none of us are prisoners by the grace of God. None of us are prisoners, but this is, I want you to take this as a picture of our lives. Where the viewpoints that we have right now, how did we get them? The value you think you have, maybe you've not even thought of values, but you say, okay, this is my favorite stuff. This is what I like to do. This is the type of job I do. This is, you know, I've gone to school to study this. Have you ever thought of why have you gone the path that you've gone to? What informed your choices? I want you to think about it. What is informing your choices? The question I had at the beginning of, you know, the class, talking about what are the things you know you need to do, you feel you need to do to accomplish your goal. That very goal, who informed you of that goal? Why are you pursuing that goal? Let's start from that. Why are you doing what you're doing today? Did you go through that studies because your parents want you to be who you are? Right? So all of those things we need to put into consideration as we go through this study. So these people, that is the image they've known from birth, and they're in their 20s, they're in their 30s and 40s right now. For 40 years, for 30 years, 20 years, that is all they know. However, there was a day, the man at the you know, outside of the cave eventually made one of the two, you can see two in the picture right now, made some of them to escape the cave. And then they saw the light from the sun shine onto them. And now they're able to see the bird, live bird flying. They're able to see real animals. They're able to see real trees, not the ones that were being, shown to them from the reflection of the fire. Seeing this, of course, culture shock, they were in shock, like, wow. So all of those were lies. I want us to picture ourselves in this scenario today. You've come into this place, and I want you to see yourself as, okay, how have I been living my life up until this moment? And I want you to see this workshop today as an opportunity to shine a light, the true light of God, to make you see what God will, what God has created in you to be, the values He embedded in you to make you who you are. Like I said, don't forget, you might even be living your values right now, but because you don't know them, you're not benefiting fully from them. So let's move on. We see, this is my intention for us today, that you will understand why knowing your core values is very important. And at the end of this class, you will discover your top 5 values. And if you want to go further, that's totally fine as well. And then you will learn practical ways to live out your core values. Will that be something worth your time today? If you could get all of this, would that be something worth your time? And of course, your money. Wow. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Ayo. Oh, Abiodun, absolutely. Thank you. All right, core values. I'm sure you've heard this. This is not the first time you're hearing this, and possibly you've even gone through the exercise before. So we're going to look at it, the way I take it, the way I understand it, the way it's blessed me, the way I've presented it to other people, and they've come back to tell me, wow, this is life-changing for me. And I pray that, you too will have that experience here today. So what are core values? Core values are the fundamental beliefs of a person or organization. Every person is supposed to have and know. Everybody has their values, right? But not everybody knows those values. Some are borrowed values that we borrow from our parents, that we've adopted, from the environment we grow up in. But what we are here to find out, to discover, is your true core values, the one that is innate to you. Our values are at the core of our lives, of our life purpose. Our values are the core of our life's purpose. Okay? And then we know that about 10 or so years ago, a few decades ago, the focus was on, discovering your purpose. You have a purpose and you must fulfill that purpose. That was the focus, in the past decade. But right now, we know we have a purpose. We understand, possibly we've even found that purpose. However, knowing your values, your value now remains the core of that purpose. You knowing that value, you knowing your core values, you are able to go out with conviction, unapologetically pursue that life purpose. Knowing your values, because all of us, we could have the same purpose of changing people's lives. However, how do I go about changing other people's lives? The way I go about it needs to align with my core purpose compared to the way you go about it. If fun, for example, is part of your core purpose, and let me say, freedom is part of my own core purpose, the approach we're going to take in fulfilling the purpose of changing other people's lives is going to be different. And if we don't know that, if you see me changing other people's lives, preaching freedom, you might think that's the way to go, and you start preaching freedom, whereas that is not your core purpose. So we can all fulfill our purpose using being able to understand, from the understanding that we have the core value is at the core of that life purpose, and then definitely fulfillment is guaranteed. Values are like a compass that points us to our true north. With your values, you are able to know your direction. You are not confused. You know what to do per time at every point in time. You know where to go. You know what to do. Values allow you to know who you are in your own deepest nature, not who you think you should be in order to fit in, not who you think your parents expect you to be, not who other people expect you to be. This is who you are deep down within. Okay? So one thing that I want us to know from Romans 12:2, the reason why we must know and live out our value is embedded in this verse. Because personally, the Bible is the core of my life, and I follow it to the core, right? So that's why I'm bringing this to us today to shape in everything we're talking about here today. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. In other words, do not go in the way other people are saying you should go because they say you should go that way. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Discover who you are in the word. Discover who you are from your maker. Discover those values that he has embedded in you that made you up, that made you who you are. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is and be able to please him, that which is good, pleasing, and perfect will of his. So what are the benefits? Sister Laura, you're unmuting. Do you have, you want to say something? Oh, okay. All right. So what are the benefits? Why do I need to know my values? I'm a Christian, right? I'm a moral person. I'm okay. I live my life, with conviction of, what the Bible says or what I know God expects me to do. But so why do I still need to know this value you're talking about? These are the benefits. Number one, it boosts your mood and mental resilience. Some people bring this as, oh, no problem. Some people bring this as, when you know your value, you are able to know from right to wrong. I want us to take it a notch, a few notches higher, 10 or 100 notches higher. It's not about right or wrong. I'm not bringing this to you just about right and wrong. I'm saying even in the right, I believe I know all of us here. I know we are all Christians. So this is not about, oh, you don't do this because it's a sin or because it's bad. But even in the things that are good, you still need to understand your innate values to be able to execute whatever you do, to be able to live your life to the fullest. So knowing your core values helps you, enables you to boost your mood and gives you mental resilience. That will help you to know, you will be convinced to the core, and you'll be able to withstand anything that comes against what you're looking for or what you're seeking. Okay, so you have that mental resilience, and of course you boost your mood because it will give you satisfaction. Whatever you do that has its foundation or its roots in your values will boost your mood. It's easier for you to make decisions and to prioritize your day, to prioritize your life, to prioritize everything about you will be a lot easier. I love this quote. It says, it's not hard to make decisions when you know what your values are. So when you're making decisions, it's a lot easier when you understand. Now, maybe I can share this story about me on this, decision making and prioritization. Some of us will know, we attended the same church back in San Antonio. I had to make I would say a life-changing decision that if not for the understanding that I have about my core values, it will have wrecked my marriage. That today I will have either even divorced, even if not for the understanding that I have. Because back in 2018, I went through the leadership training by the Chambers of Commerce in San Antonio through my place of work at the time. And that was where this workshop was done. And I was able to grasp, oh, wow, these are my core values. All right. By the way, my core values are, you can say force, but not FORCE, but rather FFFOSSS. So I have 7, there, right? But my top 5 is faith, family, freedom, service. Actually, I'll take it like that, but I'll come back and rearrange it in order of priority. So I have faith, family, freedom, and originality. I have service, simplicity, and stability. Those are my top 7 values. Okay. Now, in order of priority, I have faith, family, service, freedom, and then the rest. Okay. Now, before that 2018, before I went through this workshop at that leadership training, service has always been ahead of family for me. Of course, I know my family is priority. God even says, that our first, in a way, that our first priority and ministry is family. But I had my priority, in a jam before then. And we got to a point that, at that church we were attending at the time, we had to leave. If it were old me, what would that have done for me? I would have been very resentful of my husband. I would leave, but there are 2 ways. I leave and become resentful of my husband, or refuse to leave, and possibly my husband leaves me. At the end of the day. But because I was exposed to the need to prioritize my life based on the way God has made me, based on the way God expects me to live my life, I knew the decision I need to make. I knew how to prioritize, that my family comes before service. And that made that decision, albeit very, very, very painful. I can't even say I'm ready to share that story in deep yet. Very painful. But I was able to make that decision because I know I'm in the right. Without understanding my core values, my relationship with my husband today will not be in the right at all, because I will still be begrudging, the need to leave at that time. Mind you, I was a minister at that church. So I was involved in a lot of things. My excuse originally was, who is going to do all these things that I've been doing, and things like that? And thank God I obeyed, because immediately after that, COVID came in, and nobody will need my service anymore. And then I will have wrecked my family. I will have messed up my home. So when we talk about decision making and prioritization, understanding your core value, it helps a great deal. And after I made that decision, I was at peace with everything, with everybody. But before I understood, I was going full force into service. All right. So for right now, let's go to the next one. It says improved life satisfaction. Your life, you will have more your life you'll be able to look at your life and like, yes, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. I know this is pleasing to my maker. I'm fulfilling my purpose. So those are the things that being able to, once you are able to identify your core values, these are the benefits that it's going to give unto you. Now, what are the consequences of unclear values? Like I said, remember, you might be living those values, but if you don't identify them, if you have not discovered them, then you might find yourself leading a life with passive values. If you are not clear of your values yet, maybe you have adopted passive values. You have adopted passive values. And these are values that has been handed over to you by your parents, that you've picked up, from mentors, from coaches, and all of that. You need to understand your own values. Consequences of unclear values, you will feel frustrated and empty, no matter what, accolades you have, no matter what, maybe certificates or some achievements that you might have, no matter what your position is at work, you will still feel frustrated and empty because all of those things are not done in line with who you are, with what gives you satisfaction. Eventually, you will resent others. Like I said earlier in my story, if I had not understood this is how God will have me live my life, if I had not understood my core values, I would have resented my husband forever. Because I knew service is at my core. And especially when it comes to serving in God's house. Okay? But now that I'm able to prioritize, remember, I said I have 7 core values, right? But before I was able to discover them, definitely I didn't even know. I shall know I love to serve. All I knew was I love to serve, right? And I was living it to the core. But now that I was able to discover the rest of the values, then I know, yes, these are the order. And of course, faith, family, that is according to God's order. All the rest are things that I know over time. This is what is important to me. So if you're not clear of your values and you're living for others, you're living the passive values, you will eventually resent them. And then you will live an unfulfilled life. And that is not the portion of anyone here today. I got this off of the website, the internet, basically from Google. This guy here, Marcus Person, as you can, if you read what he has here, you can tell, on the outside, he's enjoying life. He says, hanging out in Ibiza with a bunch of friends and partying with famous people, able to do whatever I want. And I've never felt more isolated. Who can tell me what value he's missing right there? If you can, if you can think it out. What is it that you think, he has a bunch of friends around him. He's having fun, okay? And he has everything. He is in abundance. But he said he has never felt more isolated. What do you think is missing? Personally there. What do we think is missing? Anyone? Anyone? I want to make sure we are still here together. What do we think is missing? Satisfaction, okay. Thank you, Aya. Peace, okay. Thank you, BC. Anyone else? Fulfillment, okay. Thank you for those contributions. So he was still feeling empty. So in all of those, partying with friends and famous people, there was no connection with any of them. So he desires to be, that fulfillment. He desires connection. I can tell you from, reading that connection is one of his core values. And then a quote from this man here, it says, humans seek to find meaning and feel frustration or vacuum if this desire remains unfulfilled. And how do we find meaning? We find meaning in our values. We apply, we interpret everything we do from the lens of our values. Yes, thank you, Joy. Absolutely, he was missing all of that. So we're going to go through this activity right now. Now, two main things remains. We are almost at the top of the hour. In the next, for the remainder of this workshop, what we're going to do, we're going to go through the discovering your values activity. And then after that, we'll have full real life application. How can you apply what you have, okay, to your real life? How can you apply it to the type of job you should be doing? And is it the type of job you are doing? Okay. And then beyond that, how can you then begin to live your life, to be able to fulfill God's purpose in your life through the lens of those values? All right. So this is going to be interesting. Do we all have the email that gave us the instructions on how to get our decks, the value cards? Okay, let me ask the other way. If you do not have your value cards, then can I see your no in the chat? If you do not have your value card, can you put a no in the chat? All right. Can I see a no in the chat? Came with mine. Ooh, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. No, iPhone. Who is iPhone? No. No. Okay. I only have one person that doesn't have their card. You have yours, Stellara. Thank God. One of Onadeyemi, you don't have yours. Ooh. I think one of the coupon codes, you got the mail but don't have the card yet. In the email, I attached the PDF that has all the cards. That it's a PDF definitely, but the instruction was that you're going to cut it out, and it's going to be in a, like what is it called? Like a business card shape like this. I'll work on it later. Yes, I saw that. Excellent. Okay, we'll keep it at that. So you'll be able to go through this exercise at your own time then. All right. So for those of you that don't have yours right now, please just follow through the exercise, and at your time, make sure you time yourself. Can we have the email? Yes, I'll send the email. I will for it later today. Okay. Okay. I will definitely resend those once the video is ready from this workshop. I will resend it and with more instruction. All right. So we're gonna go through. I have my deck here. Now, the PDF has 100 values in there. So what you were supposed to have done is cut them out to business card shapes, and then so you can work with them individually. Oh, you didn't get the email to this effect. Sorry about that. Yes, we'll definitely make it work better next time. So I'll get that feedback back to my guy that works on the back end. All right. So the very first step is we have your card. But before we go, let me know we are still together. Can you tell me what you've learned so far? Oh, stop, sorry, you don't have the email either. Whew, I apologize for that. All right. So far, can you tell me what you've learned? The very first hour, know and understand your values. Excellent. Thank you, Viodun. Know and understand your values, okay? It's important to know your core values and be able to articulate them. Excellent. Excellent. All right, any more? One more, and then we'll move on to the activity. One more person. What have you learned? I'm taking like, let's say, if we say 10% of those of us that are here, what is that? One or two people, okay. I'll take those now. All right, so let's move on. To discover benefits of your core values, you know the benefits. Yeah, what are those benefits? Fulfill purpose. Excellent. Having my values help me fulfill purpose. Perfect. Thank you. So I want you, if you have your card with you, I want you to bring them out now. Bring it out. And the very first step is we're going to, I'm going to get my timer here because it needs to be timed. So when you're doing this by yourself, don't forget you have to time it, because that's when you get the full benefit of the process, because the process is not to overthink. You're not supposed to think about it. It has to be like something that speaks to you immediately, right? So your subconscious, we are appealing to your subconscious right now to do the discovery. So you're not imploring your mind, your brain right now, but rather what's from the subconscious, what it attracts right at this point. So you might feel like the time is too short. That is the essence of that. So to make sure that you don't reason yourself out of some of the things you're doing. All right, so I have 5 minutes on the clock, and this is the way we're going to do it. So the stack that I have right now, we're going to divide it into three stacks. You're going to have your low stack, which is that value is not to you at all. It's not important to you at all. For example, authority, no, not for me. That might be a low, right? Definitely, of course, we want to be in charge, but that's not something I seek. But some people, they might want to be in authority. That is like somebody that's seeking to be the president of a nation. Definitely, that will be in their core. So but for right now, authority is not for me. So that will go in my low stack. Then you have your medium, the one you're like, maybe not. Okay, compromise definitely is not, that's not on my deck. So you might think, okay, maybe compromise might go in the middle, the medium. And then the high, that goes to, this is very, very important to me, most important. So divide them into three like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I have a friend in the chat, Lola. She's offering to send you all the email. So if you can drop your email in the chat right now, she will forward it to you. She has the email. So please drop your email. Thank you so much, Lola. God bless you. So drop your email in the chat and Lola will forward the email. She has a copy of it. She will forward it to you. Oh, that is so much, so much helpful. Thank you so much, Lola. God bless you. All right. So the stack, you have it in three. Oh, bless you. Thank you. So you have it in three stacks like that. The low, not important. The high, most important. And then the medium, meh, in the middle like that. So I have 5 minutes going. For those of us that have our emails our stack, I'm going to go with you. Thank you all for dropping your email addresses. God bless you. So for those that has our stack, let me know once you're done separating your stacks, your decks, let me know. We might be able to save some time. We don't have to exhaust the whole 5 minutes. All right, so let's do that. Don't overthink it, like I said. Just look at it, read it. The meaning, it's under there. I think the one you have might not have that. Let me check. Let's see. We have 3 minutes 46 seconds. All right. Okay. 3 more minutes. Do not overthink it. It needs to be quick. One minute 50 seconds. Right. Yeah. That's okay. That's fine. Spirituality, God's will, yes. That's the thing. The stacks are, they have different types or different lists. The one that I used must have had faith in it. Oh, I might have even added mine, Yeah, why not? It's possible I added faith. Yeah. Why not? And with time, you're going to see that some of this can even be bunched up together. Like you said, spirituality and God's will, all on the faith, right? So, yeah. Yep. 30 more seconds. Ten more seconds. All right, time. So the next, I want you to separate this stack at this point. And from your stack, put away the low stack and the medium stack. Or, okay, let's add this. Let me give you 1 more minute. Look through your medium stack and see, should it have been in the high or in the low? So separate your medium stack into high or low. Now, 1 minute. Mm-hmm. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. All righty. Time. Okay, so we're now going to pick the high. So put the low stack away. So from here on, we're going to work with the high, the ones in the highs. From the high stack, in the next 3 minutes, select your top 15. Time running now. Select your top 15 from the high stack. You have 3 minutes for that. Actually 2 minutes 30 something. Yours is less than 15. Of course, you've gone through this exercise before. So yes. Awesome. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. You know, you're now refined, you know, in the whole process. So that's good. That's good. Excellent. So you have your stack for the next level of the exercise. And I would love to get your feedback as well. Those of you that have gone through this exercise before, how is it this time? Is it, you know, how more beneficial is it, and things like that. So of course, we're taking it a little further today, doing the application part. How do you then apply this in real life so as to get the fulfillment in it? 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. Excellent. One minute 10 seconds. One more minute. Mm, 30 seconds. You know by now you don't need to overthink it. If it's not like this is a must, you put it aside. 10 seconds. And time. All right. So you have your top 15. Now, out of the 15, get your top 10. You have 2 minutes. Clock started. Get your top 10 from the 15 that you had. The ones that you cannot do without. That this is you. For sure, for sure. Top 10. So Zabumi, do you have up to 10 in your stack? Or you've done that as well? Yeah. More than 10, okay. So pick your top 10 now. 50 seconds. Yes. Twenty seconds. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. Whew. All right. If you have your top 10, can you say yes in the chat for me? Your top 10, can you say yes? Excellent. Okay, next. Any other person with their top 10? Thank you, Sarah. Any other person with their top 10? All right, then the next activity will be to prioritize the top 10. So we have 2 minutes for that. Clock starting. So prioritize the top 10 from the top will be the highest, and the number 10 will be the least important or the least high. So 1 to 10, prioritize. 1 minute, 30 seconds. I've never done this virtually before, so I'd love to hear your take on on how it's going, how you're taking it. 1 more minute. In the physical in-person activity, it's usually fun to see how people are trying to, move from stack to stack and like rushing and seeing like, this is supposed to be here. Oh, you just see them moving from stack to stack. So don't overthink it. There has to be priority. So prioritize the top 10. 15 more seconds. Two, one, time. All right. So the bottom 5, get rid of it. Put it aside. Put aside the bottom 5. And congratulations, you have your top 5. Your top 5 core values. Can anyone share what they have? Your top 5. I think it's only 2 people that's able to do this exercise with me. Those that had their card from prior engagement. Let's see. God's will, okay. Anybody else? Your top value. If you can't share the whole 5, or you can unmute and talk too, if it's easier that way. We are still going to talk, oh guys. So be ready. We're going into practical now. Practical, practical, practical. So God's will is number 1. All right. God's will, family, growth, wealth, order. I love that. All right. Abby, faith, family, health. Awesome. I love that. Excellent. Order. I love it. Okay. All right. We're going to go into the practicality of this. I want you to consider a meaningful moment in your life, one that it's like a peak period, a peak experience, one that made you feel on top of the world. I would love if, we can share too. So please be ready. Can you remember? It might be recently, it might be your childhood, whatever. An experience that made you feel like you are on top of the world, so fulfilling. You feel so fulfilled, so happy. Like you want your every day to be like that. If you have it, can you put a yes in the chat for me? If you have such a moment, can you put a yes in the chat for me? Let me stop sharing for a second. Let me see something. Okay. Oh, to repeat the question, I was saying that you should consider a meaningful moment in your life, a moment in life that made you feel so happy and fulfilled, that you were so fulfilled with that experience. I want you to recall that experience. If you have one, just you can put a yes in the chat. We are all going to talk about it. So, I mean, if you want, I would love that. You don't have to. When I had my child, oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. All right. Oh, that's really good. Okay. So now that I want to make sure we're not leaving anybody behind. If you have that moment, please, can you put a yes in the chat? I want to make sure we're not leaving anyone behind. Please put a yes in the chat if you have such moments, such experience right now. I don't just want to be going without carrying everybody along. I'm going to repeat it, like a moment in life. It doesn't matter when. It might be recently. It might be while you were still very, like as a child, that you felt on top of the world. You felt fulfilled. You were so happy. And you want that feeling to be your everyday feeling. If you have that, please put a yes. You don't have to share. You don't have to share that moment, but put a yes in the chat. I want to see a yes in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The yeses are coming. Thank you. All right. With that in mind, usually, like I said, this is usually, an in-person workshop when I run it. And what I'll get people to do is go in groups. If we had been, okay, I think we should be enough to do this. Let me try something. I think we're enough to do this. We're enough to do this. All right. So note this. I'm going to split us into groups now. We have enough participation to be able to go into groups. So this is what we're going to do, the breakout session that it's part of what I said we're going to do. So we're going to do the breakout session now. So this is what you're going to do when you go into the breakout session. You're going to consider that meaningful moment that gives you so much joy. And then, of course, what happened? How did it make you feel? Made you feel like you're on top of the world. Then how have you been trying to recreate that feeling? Now, I want you to take it, a notch higher. Thank you. I want you to take it. Hey, Salara Romance. I love it. Awesome. All right. So I want you to take that experience now and look through your values and identify which of your values were at play in that experience. So I'm going to take us into groups right now, but I want you to do both of this exercise in the same group session. So in the same breakout session, I want you to reverse it and consider a time you would think is your lowest point in life, that you never want to experience that incident ever again in your life. And then what happened? How did you feel about it? And how have you been doing? What have you been doing to stay away from that, from ever feeling that way again? So I'm going to break us into groups now. And I would love us to share amongst ourselves. Am I not able to? Okay, let me stop sharing. Maybe I have to stop sharing to be able to do that. Okay, yes, I have to stop sharing to be able to do that. So create how many? I can do 3. So we have, okay, I'll do 4 sessions. So we can have 3 people. No, let me do 3 sessions so we can have 3 people in the room. And let participants choose from. No, it's going to be assigned automatically. So does everybody have the instruction? Do you know what needs to be done? Do we all know what needs to be done? If you don't understand the instruction, please let me know. Say no or say repeat. Just let me know, say repeat. And I'll go over it again. Why doesn't repeat? Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do. I guess I'll have to share. This is the instruction to share low moments. So 2 things. 2. Share your high moment, and what value was at play. Your very high moment, how did it make you feel? And what out of the 5 core values you've selected, which of them was at play? That's one. And then the second one, your low moment, and which of the 5 values were being violated? Which of them was being violated that made you feel so low? So those are the 2 things. We got it now? Salara, you got it? Excellent. All right. Let's go in the breakout rooms. We're going to be split into rooms now. Open all rooms. All right. Let me see. All right. So let's go. Please share, and I'm sure it's going to be very beneficial for everybody. You can join your room now. You should see a pop-up that tells you to join. Okay. I see people leaving, joining their rooms. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, why? I should have moved. I should have changed people. Let me move to, let me leave it there, Jared. I should have moved it around a little bit. All right, we have, let me join this room right here. So we still have people on the screen. Sister T, okay, you're gone. Stabusayo, what's going on? All right. Let me move you to room 3. Seems like, Ayo, what's going on? You're still on here. You're not joining yet. Sister Busayo, you're not joining yet. Okay. Okay. We'll leave it there. I'll stop.
The accommodation was so the accommodation was not sorted, so they kept us in one of the student members. They kept us in our room, so it's just one big room. Me, my husband, and 2 kids from the UK were staying in that room. Well, that would have been okay if not that. Despite that, the finances was zero. Like there was no money coming in. I was on maternity leave, so it wasn't really a time that I was making so much. Just my stipend from the UK, like very small amount of money, which was not. It was so bad that there were so many hungry days, like I've never seen before in my life.
Wow.
And the worst part of it is that there were days where we would go into the student cupboard. So the lady had to move to a friend's place so that we can stay in her room. Then I will go into her cupboard and be checking if she had anything we could eat or had to the food, Maggie. For those of you that stay in Nigeria, you know this hunger Maggie. I've never used it before in my life. That was when I learned to use because that was what she had in her cupboard. I'll be looking for spice, just any little thing just to put. And then during the afternoon, we'll go out the trees, mango trees, and all that. And then you'll be looking for mangoes to drop so that would just take care of lunch. My kids were still small. So whatever little I had, I was using it to manage them. And then as a family, we look back and we say that may those days never again, where you'll be so financially zero, you'll be scavenging. And my own value that it resonates with is the wealth part.
Right.
So when you see me, I'm always trying to make sure that I have money to look after my family and kids. It's coming from that for me.
Yeah.
So that's my moment.
Wow. Thanks so much for sharing. And of course, I see you're so passionate about getting people to get the understanding or the knowledge that they need so that they too will move from that poverty level to being self-sufficient even in their homes as well. So bravo. So that is playing a way, having a part to play in the passion and in the courses you pursue, in the way you do things. So that is excellent. All right. Now I want us, if we don't have anyone else to share, I want us to continue, and then we'll go on from there. Any other person? One more, and then we'll go. If none, then I'll share my screen. BC, you want to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to share. Okay, wow, the email I got about the core values I have:
Okay.
will, family, growth, forgiveness, and passion. So the one that really helped during my high moment was God's will. Because I remember when I put in the chat box that when I had my child was the height of my best moment in life ever since I was born. Because back home in Nigeria, everybody was like, oh, she can't. Like it seems impossible for me to even carry my own child to term. But getting here to America is like, oh, really? It's like all those words were just a mouth talk. It wasn't what God has for me. So me sharing this is just to let people know that all those things, whatever people say about you, regardless of your situation or your present problems, they are all just mouth talk. It's not what God has in stock for her. So
exactly.
For me to have my child is just the height of it that God truly is God. No matter what I had then.
So you had the mental resilience to be able to continue to pursue what you know it's God's will, right?
Yes,
so that's amazing. Excellent. Thanks so much for sharing. All right. So I'll go on and share my screen now so we can continue to see how we can continue to use this in our day-to-day, life. Now, we know that now that we understand, or that we're going to find out what our core values, is going to are really, how then do we see them in action in our life? How do we apply this? Now spirituality and God's will is your core value. Now that romance is part of your core value, wealth is there, you have protection, you're given to protect, and you have order, growth, and all of that in your core value. How does that inform the type of career you pursue? How does all of those things inform the kind of contract you submit your application for? How does that inform the type of friendship you keep? How does it inform, your decision making and all of that? So let's look at the first one here, career and job. To have your core values, to put your core value into action, you have to engage in a career that aligns with that value. For example, we know, okay, God's will, that's the very first one for everyone. That means that any job you want to engage in, you have to clear it with God first. I mean, generally, even faith, God's will, that is a no-brainer. That's even like foundation now. That's solid. So I'm going to go to the next one, family. Okay, so you know that any job you want to take, if family is your core value, is part of your core value right now. I see three people have family as number 2 of their core value, providing for my family, all of that. So if you know that family, we know that, God's will, that one is done deal. But next one is family. That is your core value to you. Then you know to look for a job that will allow you to do that will allow you to be available for your family, that will allow you to be able to take care of your family. A job, a career, an engagement, a paying engagement that will allow you to be able to be there for your family, that aligns with your family. In other words, any job that your spouse does not agree with, you know, because you have to carry your spouse along in your career choices. So if family is up there for you, then all of that needs to play, to play part. So you are able to decide what you go for as far as your job is concerned when you know your values and you engage in jobs that align perfectly with it. Let's say growth, or let me take wealth, for example, or health. See, Abby is she's an health worker. She's a nurse, right? So health is very, very paramount to her. It's in our core. So anything, whatever job she will go for, has to be one that will be able to, that will enable her to serve in that area, or the one that will enable her to be healthy too. One thing that I want us to note in this, that will have been our second breakout session, but we're not doing breakout sessions anymore. But one thing that I want us to note, as we are highlighting these core values, it shouldn't only be in regards to other people, like serve other people, provide for other people, enable other people to grow. It has to start from us. How are these values serving you? Love is part of your core value. You show love, you show commitment, you're there, romance, you're romantic to other people. But how is that serving you? How are you applying all of that to yourself as well? Okay, so we'll go to the next one. You have to work a job that aligns with your value. If your current career or job do not align, then you can find other engagements outside of your career, outside of your job, that will fill that void for you. For example, if your job is not in health, and health is part of your core value, then you can volunteer at an hospital. You can volunteer at a health fair and things like that, so that you can fulfill that part of your core value. Okay, and then we'll continue setting goals and achieving the goals. The way your core value play a role in that is being able to analyze your goals. How are your goals? What is driving those goals? Are they truly, to your values, or those goals are because of other people? External pressure, external expectations. So you need to know, how does your value apply to your goal? Do you truly value the goal? Does it align with your goals? And then once you found the ones that align with your goal, then aligns with your value, then you will have the motivation to fulfill it naturally. You're not going to struggle to fulfill that goal, because that is what gives you pleasure in the first place. Okay, so how do you prioritize your life? By your goals. So you begin to fill your days, your activities with things that aligns with your values. You don't attend events that conflicts with your values. No. Any activity that do not fill you with fulfillment, any activity that do not align with your values. For example, I was giving this example the other day on I think it was on a Facebook Live. This past weekend, the other weekend, we had a convention. Lola, you were there with me. We were at that convention, and I was there. I was reached out to host one of the sessions. To be the convener of one of the sessions. However, for that session, for that time period, myself and my husband, we already planned to attend like a new members class at the church, because we are new. Remember, I said we just relocated here. So the church we were attending the new membership class and all that. And that was slated at the same time. Me of before, among me of yesteryears, will have jumped at the opportunity at that convention to host that program. and leave my husband to go for the membership class alone. Or if I had gone with him, I would have been resentful of that decision, or I would have felt like I'm missing out on these other opportunities. Mind you, this platform, Lola can bear me witness. This platform, somebody even said is an ATM. Yes, somebody said is an ATM. Let me even tell you, you will know. It's Feladuro Toye Speak for Gold. All of you here, I'm going to invite you to Speak for Gold one of these days. Okay? It's Feladuro Toye Speak for Gold. He asked me to come and host at his convention. Come and see. I mean, you just imagine the opportunities that could follow, the exposure that could follow that opportunity. So me of yesteryears, I would have resented my decision to go for membership class. I can do makeup class for membership class, but that was not the order of my priority. I had to look at my husband. Like, how will he feel if I abandon him to go by himself? We plan to go together. So if I had said, okay, you go, I have something more important to tend to, he will have gone. He might not like it, and it might cause trouble. And if I had gone grudgingly without being confident and being satisfied in my choice, I would have resented that decision. And then, you know, when I see the poster where they showcase everybody on FD's page, I was like, see what I missed though. But I was not moved by it. And I could say, thank God, is because I am rooted in who I am. At that particular point in time, I was satisfied in my choice, because I know what was important to me at that particular moment. So you'll be able to eradicate activities that do not fill you with fulfillment at any particular point in time. All right. So let's move forward. Now, one other thing, it will enable you to say no without regret. You will be able to, when they asked me to come and do it, I will have, even if I had said no, I will have like, I've disappointed these people. This will be disappointment. You know, they've counted on me and now they have to go look for somebody else. How could I say no to FD? How could I, all of that. But knowing my values, it was easy for me to decide what to do. And I was able to tell them I have a prior engagement and I would not be able to do it. So my no was sure without regret. So when you understand your values, you'll be able to prioritize all of your engagement and your activities without regret, without having to, feel like other people are mad at you, or being guilty, feeling guilty at any point in time. So that basically concludes our time today. I don't know if anybody has any question, any comment that you want to put here. I would love, to invite you to my Facebook group that I have, my Facebook page. You can search for it on Facebook, Prosperity for Posterity community. And from there, I would love for us to continue to connect. I'm looking to possibly do book review of the book that I mentioned to us earlier. To be able to do that together. I'll come back to this. So the value factor, to be able to do the review of that, do the book, read the book together and do the review of it, and continue to work on, things, all this, our values and how we apply it as we go along in our day-to-day life. So that is what I have for us today. Do we have any questions? So before you go, one thing that I want to leave us with, of course, we know God expects us that we continue to discover ourselves as we, look into his word, as we continue to discover and renew our mind, we'll begin to fine-tune and know ourselves more and more. And as we do that, we'll begin to live out our best life. And this quote from Mahatma Gandhi says, your beliefs becomes your thoughts. Your thoughts becomes your words becomes your actions becomes your habits becomes your values then become your destiny. So it starts with your beliefs. To fulfill destiny, it starts with your beliefs, and you'll be able to ground yourself. When you ground yourself in the word of God, you'll be able to discover yourself. And when you're living true to yourself, then you're on the path. You're on the path to fulfilling destiny. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. So do not forget, let me, you can follow me on IG. I have my podcast then on YouTube as well. Definitely, let's continue to stay connected. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And please, I would love to get your feedback on this. How has this impacted you? I would love if you can do a video review for me. That would be amazing. That would be great. I intend to run these on a quarterly basis. So the next one will be in either December or January, depending on how the whole thing is going to be. So I would love to have your review. Oh, awesome. I'm really glad. I would like to have your review, especially video if you can. If not, text is, video is good so I can transcribe it and all. So whichever way, I so much appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time. I look forward to seeing you in the Facebook community, and you can reach out to me, anytime. If you have any questions on or regarding this matter, please reach out. You have all of you, I believe all of you have my contact. Please reach out, let me know, and I'll be definitely happy to share whatever I have with you in the wisdom of God. Thank you. If there's no question, I will say that concludes the workshop. Thank you so much. Say thanks so much for this. It's fulfilled my value for growth. Excellent, excellent. God bless you, Akavena. A great workshop, more grace. Amen. But I could see only, I know, right? What happens to the male group where they're not invited? Everyone needs this knowledge. Right. Yes, that's true. I need to expand, like to the men's group as well. Yes. Thank you for that feedback. Yes, more work, of course. Oh, more work to be done on me. Absolutely, all of us. I'm still growing. Like the one I told you was just last week and as a matter of fact, I had to go back to God, like, God, what's going on? This is an opportunity now. Why will I have to miss it? And God, God told me something that satisfied me, in that, and I was glad. I obeyed. I did what I needed to do, so. All right, that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming. Have a blessed afternoon, blessed evening. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you next time. God bless you. Mwah. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You have a no. You want that you won't
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, everybody.